Cody
Okay.
Bellinger, we already mentioned they should really try to bring back.
Wait,
It's
Chris.
also
The thing is, there is actually a lot to talk about the Mets. And with all of our stories that we've posted, I've been getting a lot of replies back. And I want your take on this.
Mm.
With Steve Cohen now, people are like, how the hell can he allow the team to do this? How can they allow the GMs and the front office to do this, or even himself? But now I have to bring in the question. He just got a casino, and there's a lot of fans who are thinking, oh, he got his casino. He only cares more about like his personal business. They're like, it seems like he's just going to stop really caring much about the Mets as how much he used to when he first got the team. What do you think about that? I was getting a lot of comments about that.
you want a response to this?
Yes.
Okay, glad you brought this up. So, folks, this is how the world works. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB podcast. I'm your host, Chris Gulick, alongside my co-host, Dom Savino. We will be discussing the winter meetings. This is a post-winter meetings episode, our first one of this podcast, and we will be ranting about the Mets losing their core players, as well as where they must go next after the drama has ensued. The Yankees have remained quiet, but can always create a spark at any point. Dom, that's it. The winter meetings have concluded. And honestly, it wasn't a good one for Mets fans, but a sleepy one for Yankees fans. Dom, you can go first. What's your take on these past 4 days out in Orlando for the winter meetings?
I'm going to be 100% honest. I have wasted so much time being on Twitter just to come up with nothing for, talks, checking in, possibilities. Just do it. Just make a deal. Just make a deal. And everything has just coming out of left field, coming out of right field. There's anything specific. You hear from one analyst, oh, they're going to go after just relief pitching because that's what they really need. And then Brian Cashman comes out and says, we're going to go into starting pitching. Oh, we're going to go for it this year. Hal, he's getting a little cheap, but then Cashman's like, oh, no, we're going to go for it. And then a few days later, he's like, I think we're going to be looking at a lot of trades this offseason. Like, everything is all over the place. It doesn't make any sense when it comes to this offseason with the Yankees. And everyone thought that it was a no-brainer. Bellinger's going to come back. We need him back. Now we don't know. Now we don't know. And now when it comes to Jazz, we might trade him too, which I can understand because he has great value right now. I can talk into that a little bit later. But it's just been a big mess. It's been a big mess and a whole lot of nothing. But clearly for the Mets, it's been a lot that's happened. That has actually happened. It was not rumors.
Yeah. I mean, the Mets, let's just be blunt, they didn't have a good winter meetings. They haven't had a good offseason period.
Awful.
I mean, pretty bad. So they've only brought in one serious player, maybe a few minor league deals, but they brought in Devin Williams, who for a lot of the time, people thought, all right, he's going to be a setup man, hopefully, with Edwin Díaz coming back. That didn't happen. Unless you were living under a rock recently, Edwin Díaz signed with the LA Dodgers for 3 years, $69 million, where the Mets offered him 3 years, 66. They figured, okay, he's going to go talk to a different team, i.e. the Dodgers, and then come back to us. He didn't even give him a call. He didn't even talk to him. He said, 3 years, 69, an extra mil per year. Sounds good to me. Where do I sign? He clearly didn't care about the Mets front office, and he wanted to leave. Now, do I blame him? Not entirely. But is the guy a bitch? Kind of. I agree that, that he definitely could have done it a little bit better than what he did, especially with how well Steve and Alex Cohen took care of him and his family, to be honest, because they take care of all of these players and their families. Family is a big thing that Alex Cohen, Steve Cohen's wife, harps on constantly with any player that comes in, leaves, or is on the verge of joining the organization. So I expected a lot better from Edwin Diaz than what he did. But at the end of the day, the man's gone. It is what it is. So he's out, right? Pete Alonso's gone. I mean, when we heard about the Edwin Diaz news, when we were doing the episode on Tuesday, I thought, all right, well, you can't let Pete go because, you already traded Brandon Nimmo. Edwin Diaz is gone. Now you're not even going to bring back the first baseman. Now, I understand, and I'm hearing it from, Sal's favorite group of guys, BT and Sal Licata, that they were talking about how, oh, they weren't winning. They tried it with these guys. They're not a winning ball club. It's time to shake it up. Yeah, I could see where they're coming from. But at the end of the day, what was the biggest issue for the Mets last season? It was their pitching. So, okay, you got rid of Pete Alonso, you traded Brandon Nimmo, you unfortunately couldn't bring back Edwin Diaz, where maybe you thought he would come back and let you counter on the LA Dodgers' offer. But really, it was the pitching that let them down. Now, I'm not going to say Pete Alonso always came up in the clutch. Edwin Diaz looked great in every outing, but Edwin Diaz was the most clutch, solidified, surefire thing that they had on the whole entire team, really, especially the bullpen. Brandon Nimmo wasn't a cleanup hitter, wasn't a clutch hitter. As we said months, weeks ago, when the season ended, yes, he obviously set his career high in homers and RBIs with 26 and 92, respectively. But it's a new shakeup now. Now they're coming out with, oh, well, maybe they'll pick up the phone and listen to other teams about trading Francisco Lindor. If you trade Francisco Lindor, this is an absolute complete rebuild. I don't care if Juan Soto's on this team. This is a complete rebuild. You don't trade Francisco Lindor. I know people are putting it out there. He just turned 32. I think my mother shares the same birthday as him, November 14th. And he turned 32 years old last month. I get that. His contract, there's still 6 years left. But I just don't see how you trade away your star shortstop and then you just try to sell to the fans. Oh, don't worry. We're going to trade away all of these guys plus now Francisco Lindor, essentially the unofficial captain of the team. But hey, we're in a great direction. You should spend your money and come to Citi Field. I mean, do you hear yourself? Open your eyes. There's no way people are going to show up to a game after all of the trading, the unsuccessful, I guess, re-signing or acquisition, because so far right now, they haven't really acquired anybody splash-worthy, right, in the offseason. Hasn't happened. So I'll just say all that. Those are all the things, right, regarding what has already transpired. Now, of course, the biggest question for the Mets, Dom, is what's next? How in the world do you essentially fix the broken hearts of Mets fans from what has transpired the last 3-4 days? Now, I want to ask you first, Tom, before I give my opinion, who, and excluding pitchers, because we've been talking about pitching for the Mets for God knows how long, who do you think offensively, and you're the most confident about they're going to get for the lineup next year?
For the Mets.
Yes.
That's the problem. You don't know. The thing is, you don't know because of how much money you give in Soto, and then you still have Lindor for now. I hate to say it, but for now, because at this
I
point,
know.
everyone's up for grabs.
On the table. Yes.
Are you willing to pay Kyle Tucker $400 million? Apparently, that's what he wants. I don't know. I mean, there's no one really I can confidently say that they're gonna definitely want to come to this team. That's the problem. I mean, I hate to say it as coming from a Yankee fan, but also what would help you guys if you got someone like an Alex Bregman, like someone with a power bat, a good third baseman. I mean, I know you have Vientos, but he was in like the worst slump ever last year, and I think every Mets fan was shocked to say that from what they saw from him. I was
Yeah.
shocked. Like I thought he was going to be a future star in this
Hmm.
league. and doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon, unless he has a really big bounce back year this year.
Right.
But it seems like you guys got to just start off small. I don't think you guys really have to pull the trigger on the big guys. You just got to have multiple solid players instead of like two or three stars on the team, and that's it. And then everyone else is just not good. I think you
I
got to
think
go for small pieces first.
yeah, that's I think that's a smart way to look at it. The thing I'll say is though, right now with left field, okay, of course the two big names is Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker, right?
Hmm.
Cody Bellinger is linked to both New York teams. I really think the Yankees should do everything in their power to bring him back. I think that's got to be their number one signing to start off. But regarding again the Mets and left field, it's not even just left field. Left field is also connected with first base because you don't have a first baseman that can replicate 40 homers and 100 plus RBIs. They just don't have it, right? As we've already discussed a few times, not going to say ad nauseum, but a few times, Ryan Clifford is not ready. He didn't do great with his small stint in AAA this past season. He's not ready. I offered a shout out to Future and Lil Uzi, a moment of clarity, and I said you should sign Nathaniel Lowe to a 1 year deal because you look at the free agent first baseman, especially now with Josh Naylor and Pete Alonso off the table. I mean, who has a decent WAR, WAR, wins above replacement, that is worth at least a 1 to 2 year contract? The only guy on there is Nathaniel Lowe. You're not going to bring O'Hearn. O'Hearn would maybe play better defense with his eyes closed, let alone with his eyes open. So he can't defend first base. So really, it's if you don't get Kyle Tucker for left field, who's protecting Juan Soto? And I don't know which name it was. Maybe I don't know Anthony DeComo. I forget who it was, but somebody on SNY Baseball Night in New York last night said, "I think you should be putting Juan Soto leadoff." And honestly, he's not wrong because that man's going to walk 150 times. And Ron Darling said it on MLB Network during winter meetings, the coverage. He's right. I mean, nobody's protecting Juan Soto. So I personally think, and Dom, I like Cody Bellinger. Nice player,
Right?
okay, talented, can defend, has a fantastic arm, but he is not protection worthy for Juan Soto. He's just not. If you have him, great. But I wouldn't say, oh, okay, this is good. Slot him right behind Soto, everything will work out well. No. Kyle Tucker, I'm much more inclined to say, okay, I put Kyle Tucker behind Soto. Soto's not going to walk 150 times. Now, of course, Kyle Tucker had an injury plagued season last season. His numbers also weren't that hot. And he also, as Dom just said, wants 400 plus $1 million, which we read it, me and Dom together before we aired. The Blue Jays are willing to give that to him, and a few other teams have also extended offers. The Mets are also on that list, but you got to think with left field wide open, could you give it a Carson Bench? Maybe, but is Carson Bench really ready? I don't know. He could make opening day, but I'm not going to lie, Dom. I feel like they have to make a splash, and they kind of have to spend what they're going to spend for Kyle Tucker. They took off 2 years from Brandon Nimmo's contract. They didn't give the money that Pete Alonso was looking for, and they also, aren't paying Edwin Díaz the highest amount for any reliever or closer in the league. So
What I'm very surprised is I haven't heard a lick about any of these Japanese players.
no,
None. I mean, I feel like that's what have winter meetings have been about for a while. Is like, now that they're all posted, now that they're allowed to go and search in the MLB for
Are they
teams,
all posted? Because that was what I was about to say. I thought they couldn't post until mid-January. They're all posted?
that's a deadline.
Uh-huh.
The
Okay.
deadline.
Got it.
That's their deadline.
Okay.
So like that they have until that time to be signed.
Mhm.
But you know, the big name is Murakami, right? Murakami, the big power hitter, you know, aka the Babe Ruth of Japan, is what they're calling him.
Oh, phone call.
Unbelievable.
Is
Unbelievable.
that
Stupid. My
was
mom.
that was that Cashman?
I wish. I
Uh,
wish I could cash
all
me.
right.
I'm out right now in front of everybody.
Okay.
But with Murakami, you know, everyone's saying he has just a really big swing and miss rate. You know, he does have crazy power, but the strikeouts don't make up for it. But then the name I'm also hearing is Kazuma Akamoto. He is 29. He had a 289 batting average. What else do you have? He had 19 home runs, 61 RBIs, on base percentage only 383, slugging percentage of 534, OPS of 916.
Hmm.
He plays first and third. Both of them play first and third.
Hmm.
And it seems like if you have someone with a 289 batting average on your team, that will lift any team tremendously. I mean, yeah, he is 29, but maybe give him a short deal. And it's not like he's a pitcher. You know, it's not like he's an old pitcher that you're giving money to. You know, and most of these Japanese guys are in their mid to late 20s when they come here.
Dom, breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Drake Fellows, right-handed pitcher, signs minor league deal with the Yankees.
That's not breaking news. That is not breaking news.
Uh,
That is not breaking.
oh man. Anyway, continue. Go ahead.
So I mean, I think that's someone you guys should look out for. Someone to play third or first. If Bregman's not available, if you guys don't believe in Vientos, if you can't get Cody Bellinger, I think that's the guy for you. You know, you
Hmm.
can plug him into first or third. Let's say someone's hurt, you put him in there. Has great contact. Seems like a much more better prospect than someone you're just hoping can just shine in a few years. Because I don't think anyone at the moment thinks that Murakami is just going to come year one and just destroy the league.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's thinking that at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm sure last year people thought that, but then people started doing their homework, and now it doesn't really look that good.
Yeah. The one name I'm going to mention for the Mets regarding first base is Wilson Contreras. So that is a name that people have thrown around. You know, I'm reading right now on Twitter, Foul Territory. This is according to our good old friend that we just love so dearly, Ken Rosenthal.
Wow.
Wilson Contreras likely wouldn't get the Cardinals one of Nolan McLean, Brandon Sproat, or Jonah Tong if he were traded to the Mets. So I mean, what are the Cardinals getting then? I mean, Wilson Contreras is not a scrub. I mean, he is a pretty good player. I mean, his numbers, home run numbers were definitely low, but his numbers were not bad last season. I mean, if I pull it up here, right? He batted, I mean, 257. Okay. Not the best batting average, but had 80 RBIs, over 125 hits. I'm going to see how many home runs he had. He had a 2.5 WAR, and then for home runs, he hit 20. So listen, the most home runs he's ever hit in one season is 24. That was 2019 with the Cubs. So, okay, yeah, he would be a nice fill in at first base. But I'll tell you right now, if you get him, you still got to get either Cody Bellinger or Kyle Tucker,
Mm,
preferably, of course, Kyle Tucker, because I don't think Wilson Contreras can protect Juan Soto. Cody Bellinger is a good player, but the thing is, I would have liked Cody Bellinger on this team if they retained, you know, Pete Alonso, but
yeah.
they didn't. So that's where I still think they need to go out and get a Kyle Tucker type player. And really, he's the only one. He's kind of 1-on-1 at this point on the free agent list. So that's why I think they should really go full on balls deep and try to get Kyle Tucker straight out of free agency. But really, you know, I feel like I'm, you know, ranting and going on and on here with the Mets. I mean,
Mm,
regarding the Yankees, Dom, let's try to talk about them a little bit here. Cody
Wait, Chris.
Bellinger, we already mentioned they should really try to bring back. It's
Chris.
also
Chris,
Hmm?
I'm sorry. The thing is, there is actually a lot to talk about the Mets, and with all of our stories that we've posted about the Mets, I've been getting a lot of replies back, And I want your take on this.
Mm.
I don't know, call these Mets fans emotional, call them crazy, or maybe they're onto something. Maybe this is a weird question, but with Steve Cohen now, people are like, how the hell can he allow the team to do this? How can they allow the GMs and the front office to do this, or even himself? But now I have to bring in the question. He just got a casino, and there's a lot of fans who are thinking, oh, he got his casino. He only cares more about like his personal business. That's his, that's his like baby now. Like casinos, he's gonna make a lot of money in New York. And people are maybe getting emotional, maybe not, but they're like, it seems like he's just gonna stop really caring much about the Mets as how much he used to when he first got the team. What do you think about that? I was getting a lot of comments about that.
You want a response to this?
Yes.
Okay. Glad you brought this up. So, folks, this is how the world works. They preach about what they want fixed, and then when it gets fixed, they move on to the next thing to bitch and complain about.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did you hear, I hear, everybody that's a Mets fan, even a Yankee fan going to Citi Field for the Subway Series, they look around and they go, oh, this place is a fucking dump. This place sucks. There's no stands. There's no Billies. For the non-Mets and Yankees fans listening to this episode right now, Billies and stands are bars outside of Yankee Stadium. So they shit on the whole area of Flushing outside of Citi Field. They go, Steve Cohen, he's got all this money. He bought this team. I mean, is he going to fix this stuff around? So now he's fixing it. He's putting in a casino. He's taking his hard-earned money and building up. If it's not a casino, okay, then guess what? Write a formal letter, send it to him, and tell him what he should build if it's not a casino. Because last time I checked, you didn't give him any opinions. You didn't give him any ideas. So now he's putting in a casino. He's trying to revamp the external area of Citi Field. And now people are like, oh, he's focused on his casino. He doesn't care about the team. You know what that is, Tom? That's called he checked off one of my boxes. I got to move on to the next complaint. That's what it sounds like to me. I heard bitching on bitching for years how crappy the outside of Citi Field is. My whole life. Ever since 2009. When Citi Field was built. So now he's fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want him to do? He's the owner. He hired David Stearns. David Stearns is the guy who's supposed to bring these guys in, not Steve Cohen. Exactly. And by the way, I'm hearing these callers on WFAN, idiots. They're trying to tell Evan, Tiki, BT, Sal, Gio, Boomer, trying to tell all of them that David Stearns got Juan Soto. Idiots. He didn't get Juan Soto. Steve Cohen did. Enough. David Stearns hasn't done dick for this team. He got lucky. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it out. I'm going to call it a spade a spade. He got lucky in 2024. Whatever you want to say. The magic of OMG from Jose Iglesias. Grimace from frickin' McDonald's. I don't care what you want to say. It was luck. And then look, his luck ran out last year. And he didn't do the thing. I'm not going to keep repeating them. Go back and watch the other episodes, for crying out loud. He made the mistakes he made, and he couldn't recalibrate. And he couldn't pull the train back on the tracks. For 3.5 months, mind you. So for the people who want to say he's just focused on his casino, I don't know. He's fixing up Flushing, isn't he? He's trying to get those crappy auto body shops out. He's trying to do whatever he needs to do. Now, it's Flushing, not the best area, to be honest. They're going to have to get some sort of security for the casino, but he's trying the best he can. I don't know. I'm not trying to kiss ass to Steve Cohen, but he's got this $8 billion plan for this complex, and he's trying to clean up the area. This is what you scream for, right? This is the ownership you wanted, correct?
Yep.
Then do me a favor. Shut the fuck up and let him do what he's got to do. That's my response to that.
That's a good one. People don't understand. People still don't understand that. With Cohen, he's the one that got Soto. He's the one with all the money. He was the only one that was able to give him that money.
But Dom, I'm sorry. I'll say one more and then I'll let you go. I know I tend to cut you off, but I have to
No,
do it for this one though.
you're good, bro.
Think about David Stearns for a second. Take a moment. I'll give you as much time as you need. Think about how David Stearns operates in the front office. You're going to fucking tell me that David Stearns is going to take out whatever, Chase Bank, TD Bank, Bank of America checkbook, and he's going to write out a 15-year contract to a player? Fucking think about that for a second. Would he ever do that? Did he ever do that in Milwaukee? So how in the world did David Stearns bring Juan Soto here? Tell me. Go ahead.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Exactly. You can't.
I can't.
Go ahead. Continue.
And I'm sorry. I know I should be talking about the Yankees, but the Mets have a lot going on right now. And there's one more thing. Have you seen what Eric Chavez has been posting on Instagram?
Dude, I bookmarked it. I wanted to get on air, but I bookmarked it. I didn't watch it yet. What did he say?
Well, he was doing his whole Q&A, and he has on his Instagram stories. People were asking him stuff, and then he was responding. Here's some of them. Someone asked him, "Do you think Stearns is over his head in managing a big market team like I do?" He said, "Yes, I do. If you had to point to one issue last year that led to the Mets' collapse, what would it be?" He said, "We acquired the wrong players." Scale 1 to 10. How big of a mistake was leering Díaz and Alonso walk? 10. Why should we trust Stearns? And we lost half of our team. Why should we have faith? He said, "Don't trust him. Make him prove himself. He needs to win. Period. There's no trust in sports. Only winning." Someone
That's
said,
that's actually a good answer.
"We have respect for you. Any considerations of ever joining the Mets staff again?" He said, "Depends on who the GM is." Clearly, he doesn't like Stearns.
No.
Clearly, he does not.
Mm-mm.
Are free agents going to stay away because of the culture of the team/clubhouse right now? He said, "No. My guess is 2 big free agents are coming. Money talks, clubhouses change year to year."
Good answer as well.
Do you still believe that the Mets can turn this offseason around? My guess, Bregman and Tucker on the way. On one, if not 2.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even look at that. I didn't even look at that one earlier.
Listen, those are solid answers, Eric Chavez. Does that take away from the fact that he did a terrible job as a hitting coach? No. Absolutely not. He did a god-awful job. We were screaming for him to get fired since, I don't know, end of June, beginning of July, for 3 months. For the last 3 months of the season, we wanted him fired. Him and Jeremy Barnes. We did. So, yes, those are good answers to whatever that was, Q&A, sit down, round table, whatever the heck it was. But I respect those answers, and I think they are solid answers. But yeah, David Stearns, I agree with Eric Chavez. David Stearns needs to prove himself. There is no reason for Mets fans to trust him. Trust him for what? You can't. You have to realize after everything goes just like he said, clubhouse goes season by season. So does feel and reputation of an organization. It goes season by season, right? The Yankees, for a long time, highly respected. Yankees could get whoever the hell they wanted. They were winning, right, with the Derek Jeter days, even when A-Rod was here, even back in the 90s when they were constantly winning. They built a reputation season after season. After 2024, okay, you had a reputation of, wow, you were 2 wins away from the World Series. You actually did things on a small market level that actually worked. But then you go to 2025, I'm sorry, but just like seasons change, so do feelings about a team. And then 2025 happened, and now you had such a collapse for 3.5 months and a massive failure that now the reputation has swung back to, well, they got to fix it for 2026. And if not, they're going to start looking at the future, but also possibly firing and hiring new people for the front office. Because people have said it. If he doesn't have, and he meaning David Stearns, if he doesn't have a good offseason and the Mets don't win like everyone expects them to with the money that Steve Cohen has, David Stearns will be fired. I mean,
He will.
it's not even a joke. It's not a question. He's going to be fired, and they're going to have to bring someone else in. But
Yeah.
that's really everything for the Mets currently. I do think they have to get Kyle Tucker. I really think they should explore a trade with the Brewers for Freddie Peralta and Trevor McGill. I mean, you didn't get Suarez, okay? They're not in love with Fairbanks. I mean, your options are pretty limited currently. And I've wanted the Mets to go after Freddie Peralta for months now,
Yep.
ever since
Yep.
the season was over. And I think they should try to get him. I know he is only making $8 million next year, so I don't know if the Brewers want to just give that up. They may ask for a pretty penny in terms of prospects and maybe MLB ready level players, but I would still pick up the phone and ask them. But Kyle Tucker, a serious starting pitcher, I'm talking about trade for a pitcher and still acquire. If you traded for Trevor McGill and Freddie Peralta in one trade and you sign Michael King, I will be happy with the rotation going into next season. And then,
That's
of
a
course, you get Kyle Tucker, and then you figure out first base. Okay, the offense isn't fantastic, but I guess it'll do until the trade deadline, hopefully. But that's how I see it right now.
I don't think even last year people didn't expect you guys to, go to the NLCS. You guys were just happy to make the playoffs. And that's all you got to do. Just
Yeah,
make the play.
for sure.
You guys could have went on another miracle run last year if you guys made the playoffs. This year, I meant.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what can happen. The playoffs are the playoffs, and all those statistics and all that BS goes out the window. You just got to play ball. So
Absolutely. So now let's put a bow on the Mets. Dom, I want to talk about the Yankees a little bit because, again, if we're just going to talk about the Mets, I didn't even have to have you on this episode. I could have just done this on my own. I would like for you to speak about the Yankees a bit. In your personal opinion, I want to start with the ownership and the front office. Where are they exactly headed? Like, what are they exactly looking to accomplish? Because I feel like they're just collecting a paycheck. They're going on their merry way, saying happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you want to say. We'll see you at spring training.
yeah,
So, like, do you have any clue, idea of what this front office is looking to accomplish? Because I'll say it again, I would love to see a Subway World Series before I croak.
me too. Me too.
So, what's your answer to this?
I mean, I've been telling you this for even before we even started this podcast. I've been telling you for so long that Brian Cashman needs to go. He's washed up now. For the past ever since that whole Manny Machado and Bryce Harper free agency thing, everyone lost trust in him.
You just answered my next question. It was
Everyone
going to be, where did it begin?
everyone lost trust in Brian Cashman after that. And honestly, I felt like after he missed out on those two guys, he should have been gone. He should have been fired. But clearly, that's never going to happen because him and the Steinbrenners are just way too close. They're like family now. The way that he's been with this organization for Cashman, I don't know, 20 plus years now. And it seems like I don't know. He might have to kill one of his Steinbrenner's family members in order for him to be done with this team. I don't think any Yankee fan trusts him anymore. They're not aggressive as they used to be. And the problem is, I don't even know if that's on Cashman now, because after all this interview with Hal Steinbrenner, it could be him. He seems like a cheap bastard now. So, can you blame him? Can you blame Cashman, or do you blame Hal? But honestly, I blame both. I blame both of them. They all have their flaws, and they come together and just creates one big mess. And it's all probably the past 4 years. It's just been all talk, all all talk and no bark. Like their actions, they don't speak. Their actions speak louder than words, and all they do is speak. That's a big problem. And I have no faith in them. When I have no faith in Cashman, I have no faith in Boone. And now this was such a scary interview that just happened with Hal. What, a week or two ago?
Yeah.
Every Yankees fan should be scared. It seems like they're not trying to do any aggressive moves because they're trying to be under their luxury tax. But try and find a way to do something. If you got to do a deferred contract like they did with Ohtani, do that. Now look, now they're signing every single all-star in the league. You got to find a way to do something so we can get these players. That's how we won all these championships. I hate to be that guy to bring up the championships that happened 1,000 years ago, but that's how it happened. We got A.J. Burnett and CC Sabathia and Mark Teixeira. And then we already had power. We already had amazing players before that. We had Cano and Jeter and Matsui and A-Rod. It seemed like his only year where he didn't take steroids. And he played fantastic. That was probably the best year for his career. I hate to say it, but A-Rod was the reason why we even made it to the World Series.
It's not even a question, yes.
So we had talent, but you got to stack up. You got to stack up on talent, and that's what they did, and that's how we won a championship. From defense to offense to pitching starters and to the bullpen, you got to do everything. You got to upgrade everything. But when it comes to this offseason, I sort of agree with Cashman that now that starters are more in our favor to get instead of relievers. Because like I've been telling you for the past few weeks now, I don't believe in Rodon. I think he just had a fluke of a year. And with Garrett Cole coming back from Tommy John surgery, we need starting pitching. We don't have time for development of players. For when it comes to pitching, at least, and we're blessed that Cam Schlittler just came in and started dealing his first year.
Yeah.
We are very lucky that we don't have to wait for him. And he should have another amazing year this year. Let's hope. Let's hope he doesn't turn into Mark Vientosa pitching. But, I mean, I want the Yankees to also get McGill and Peralta and just to stack up. Stack up on these starting pitching. I mean, look what LA's doing. They got all these guys, and Blake Snell and Glass now, and obviously you have Ohtani and Yamamoto. I mean, yeah, their offense is scary, but defense wins championships.
I have a new name for the Dodgers. I don't call them the Dodgers. I call them LA Deferment.
Yeah, literally.
That's
The
what they are.
first. Los
No, it's all
Angeles.
right. I'll give you a 5-year, $150 million contract, but you're going to make $5 the first year, $10 the second year, $20 the third year. And then after the contract is all over, then you'll get your lump sum of money. I mean, they're literally the LA Deferment. I mean, that's just what they are now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you see as the front office, right? So what do you think, where do you think they should start in terms of acquiring? So you're saying starting pitching?
Starting
That
pitching.
okay, and who do you think they should really look to get? Do you have one solidified name that you think they should really try to get for the rotation?
Well, two guys, but
Mm,
I hate to say it. I mean, New York has been battling these past few off seasons. Freddie Peralta. Freddie
mhm.
Peralta, I think he should be our main guy that we should get right now. He's
Yeah.
29, going to be 30 next year. He had a 2.70 ERA and 33 starts, and he was an all-star last year. But also, Chris, what I'm seeing here is, well, obviously several teams are interested in Freddie Peralta, but they don't mention the Mets. The
Mm,
Athletic is reporting the Red Sox, the Orioles, the Giants, the Yankees, and the Astros.
hmm.
So the Mets
Okay.
name isn't even here,
Mm-hmm.
which
Well,
is sort
that's
of
not
alarming.
good.
Sort of alarming.
That's not good.
That's very alarming. I mean, with these numbers, him as an all-star last year, 270, hey, any team will take that, right? I'll definitely take that. You got to risk it to get the biscuit, as they say. Go get Tatsuya Imai. Go get him. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I feel like we should only get him if we also get other pitchers. And I mean, Not gonna lie, I would have liked Suarez, even though he just signed to Atlanta. But it seems like they weren't aggressive in trying to get a closer or anything. So it seems like the Yankees have a lot of faith in David Bednar,
Hmm.
which obviously his first two starts as a Yankee were awful, but then he bounced back and had a great rest of the year. So it seems like he's our closer,
Yeah.
but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to get more relief, but we should start off with starting pitching and then our hitting. We need outfielders. We need a left fielder. It would be nice for Jason Dominguez to be a DH, but unfortunately, we have a horrible contract with Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a fan favorite. Yes, he hits bombs. He's hurt way too much. And people get annoyed when I say this, but this is exactly like the A-Rod contract. Just a contract that we're stuck with. We can't trade him. We can't cut him. Nothing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the reason. That's one of the reasons why the Yankees were held back for years was because of the A-Rod contract, either with the steroid thing or him getting multiple surgeries, whatever it was. But you know, availability is what you need
Hmm.
on any sports roster. So it sucks that we have this contract. And yes, he's an amazing player. I'm not saying he's not, but we need somehow if we can try and get rid of it, get rid of it. But we need outfield, we need third base, and we need first base. Possibly first base because you don't know what Ben Rice is gonna do. Is he gonna stay at first, or is he gonna catch? What are they gonna do with Austin Wells? Because he is an awful hitter. He is a terrible hitter, and even though he's an amazing catcher, but you can't be on the field if you can't hit.
Right.
So that's another
Yeah.
big problem. So we need
Hmm.
a lot. I mean, I wouldn't mind Bregman either, as even though he's on the Yankees, I wouldn't mind either.
I absolutely don't see Alex Bregman coming to the Mets.
No,
No.
I don't really see him coming to the Yankees, to be
I,
honest.
yeah,
But
I don't see him going to either New York team. No.
I really don't see it.
No.
But
Mm-mm.
and it seems like if we really want to get these good pitchers, we might not even have room for Kyle Tucker because we're gonna have to also extend players as well. 400 million. It doesn't seem like the Yankees are gonna want to spend anywhere near 400 million on a player.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's out of the question. And I sort of had a feeling before, even before this interview, because they've been cheap for years now. Like, this isn't anything new. I hate to say it, but like the Hal Steinbrenner interview wasn't shocking. It was only shocking because the words actually came out of his mouth. You know what I mean? It's not because we were surprised,
Yeah.
but the fact that he actually said it, complaining about, oh, we had to pay money in COVID year. What? Buddy, that was 5 years ago. And you are a top 2 or 3 sports franchise in the world.
I mean that organization brings in so much money. That is a blasphemous take for him to say regarding something
Yeah.
that is 5 years old.
Yeah. So
Nuts.
it's really scary.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the Yankees, this is going to have to be the year to bulk up because the Red Sox are only going to get better with all their young stars that they have. I mean, obviously you got Garrett Crochet and you got Roman Anthony, who was a stud as a rookie. It was a shame that he got hurt. I mean, good for Yankees fans because we might have even lost that series if
Mm.
Roman Anthony was playing. I said that in the previous episodes when they were playing the Red Sox. I was scared of Roman Anthony. Scared of a rookie. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I thought Pete Alonso was going to go to the Red Sox. I really thought that he was. But now, this is even scarier that he's on the Baltimore Orioles. Have you seen this lineup? Have you seen the potential lineup that
Yeah,
could
but
possibly happen to the Orioles?
there are a few guys that I've never heard of.
This is a projected Baltimore Orioles starting lineup. Jackson Holiday, who is going to become a good player.
Okay.
Jordan Westberg had a great year last year. Gunnar Henderson.
Mhm.
I mean, he didn't have a good year last year, obviously, but he's a young
Mhm.
star in this league.
Yeah.
Then Pete Alonso, Then Adley Rutschman, who's one of the best catchers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Ward, underrated player, very underrated. So
Mm-hmm.
the top six is lights out, lights out. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard these names though. Dylan Bevers, Colton Cowser, and Samuel Basallo.
I've heard of
I,
Colton Cowser, but only on the minor league level.
I haven't heard those three guys, but the top six is really scary,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the best lineups in the league on
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
But
Here's the thing. There's one thing you left out, Dom, and I was waiting for you to say it. Yes, the Red Sox have a good roster. They also have a good farm system. The Orioles now acquiring Pete Alonso. They have a good lineup. The Blue Jays, they're always going to have talent. The ownership's willing to spend, which is something the Toronto Blue Jays hadn't had, for a while. Of course, they've only been around since what? The early 90s. They've only been around for a bit. I forgot when their inception was. I don't know if you remember, but
no,
I'm actually going to try to look to see when they came in.
Kyle
Because I
Tucker
honestly
might go to the Blue
forget.
Jays.
Huh?
Kyle Tucker might go to the Blue Jays.
Maybe. Maybe. So it began with MLB awarding Toronto a franchise in 76 as part of a league expansion for the 77 season. All right, so they've been around since 1977. But this ownership now is looking to spend, and they have no problem doing it. But there's the big thing that you left out.
What's that?
How old's Aaron Judge?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, same with Cole. I mean, he
But
might
but
not be
but
the same.
it's more Aaron Judge. I mean, the man just won another AL MVP.
We're wasting him. We've wasted him since 2019. We've been wasting his career. We've been wasting his career, and we wasted Garrett Cole's. And I hate to say it, I mean, I don't have faith in him coming back to be like what he was. He's, what is he, 34, 35, Garrett Cole?
I
And then
believe he's going to be. I'm not going to lie. I think he's going to be 35 next year.
35. He's 35 right
No,
now.
he's 35. Okay, so yeah, towards the end September, he's going to be 36. I
He's
mean, that's up
35
there.
and coming back from that. And then I don't believe he's going to have a good year this year. That's why we need starting pitching. That's why I really need starting pitching. And if Aaron Judge declines, that's still that's still a great player. That's still, even if he declines just a little bit, he's still an amazing player. That's something, it's not like he's 40 or anything like that. So I'm not really worried about a big decline in Aaron Judge yet.
Hmm.
Is it possible? Yeah. It's just scary also that he gets hurt a lot too.
Right.
That's another scary thing that people don't want to talk about. So, every time he gets hurt, it's like, oh, we're cooked. Like, we're not going to win until he gets back.
Hmm.
And that's literally been the case the whole career. We just wait for him to come back and then we resurge. But these guys aren't ready.
Hmm.
But then the last thing I'll say about the Yankees is Jazz Chisholm. They're saying that they're exploring a trade for him. And I would absolutely do it in a heartbeat. I mean, another fan favorite, of course. He had a good year. I wouldn't say a great year. He had a good year last year. Everyone thinks he had a great year because he hit 31 home runs. I hate to break it to you, baseball fans. That's not what all of baseball is about. It's just on the offensive level, just home runs. It's not. He only 31 home runs and he only had about 80 RBIs. That's really low. That's really low for someone who hit 31 home runs. And they also only had a 242 batting average. That's really not that great either. And
Yeah.
his market is high right now. And we only have 1 year left on the deal with him after this year. I don't think the Yankees are going to want to sign him for a 5-6 year deal after this. You may as well trade him now.
Hmm.
And, he's a great utility player. He could play third, he could play second or the outfield. So I'm sure probably almost every team in the league could have him. Like, they would need someone like that on their team.
Hmm.
So trade him now. And I know he's a fan favorite to everyone, but I don't care about that. I think Yankee fans at this point only care about winning, and that it seems like we're also on a decline as well because
Mhm.
these teams in the AL East are coming up, and we just stayed the same.
Yeah.
As of right now, as of December 12th, the season's not going to look good for the Yankees either. I mean, of course, people are still going to go to the games, but it's Yankee Stadium. But I'm nervous. I'm very nervous, and the meetings are over, and usually we would have a deal done already. When it came to Soto, it came to Garrett Cole, nothing.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. That's yeah, it's definitely alarming. That's why I wanted you to talk about the Yankees a bit with more about what their direction is because I feel like they're just at a standstill. They're a little too stagnant for Yankee fans, but listen, there's still some time. The last thing I'll really say for the Mets, when Edwin Diaz decided to go to the Dodgers, Mets fans were mad. But when Pete Alonso decided to sign with the Orioles, Mets fans were upset and disappointed. Obviously, with David Stearns and Steve Cohen. But I'll say this right now this next month, and I do mean month because once you get to middle of January, bells start to go off on are they really going to be doing enough? Because now we're approaching February, and then 2 weeks into February, pitchers and catchers report, and then the whole team reports, and then you start spring training games. You know, dude, Dom, it's wild. Today's December 12th. I mean, pitchers and catchers report in literally like a tad over 2 months.
Yep.
It's not that far away. So this month, going forward, this next month is really make or break, definitely for the Mets, but very much for David Stearns and his job and his
Yep.
job safety. So we'll see what the Mets decide to do for this next month, but they better be active because right now, and honestly, I agree with the reporters and the analysts for the MLB. This looks like a 75 win team,
Yep.
maybe 8, but it's not a playoff team by
Not
no
at
stretch of the imagination.
not at all.
Anything else you have to say before I wrap it up?
You know, if this was any other team, Cashman will be gone, Boone would be gone. And there's this thing about the Yankees where they like to keep their managers for at least 9 years, even if they're doing horrible. And it seems like that's happening right now. So I don't expect Boone to be gone anytime soon. Cashman, I don't know. I think when we croak, he'll still be there. You know, his spirit will live on in Yankee Stadium. He'll be up in the heavens, still managing this team. It's a shame. It really is a shame. And then also, we're too big on analytics still. And that's also something that Eric Chavez said, by the way. Eric
Mm,
Chavez also said that the Mets are also too big in analytics.
mhm.
And I've been saying this from the get-go. I think it's ruining the sport. I think analytics are ruining the sport. And I don't know, these coaches and managers, scouting department, get rid of your analytics, high-tech analytics team. Get rid of them. It's only making your team worse. Like you guys are forgetting just like the common sense of baseball.
Well, that's the thing. Remember, Dom, what I said in one of the episodes. I reiterated the line from Moneyball.
Yep.
Nobody reinvents this game.
Nope.
Okay. You got to bunt, you got to steal, you got to sacrifice, you got to get runners in scoring position, you got to get them in. And you don't do that with a bunch of statistical gimmicks. Okay.
Exactly.
Nobody reinvents this game. It's been like this since the war times. It's literally called America's pastime for a reason. And I 100% agree with you. The only other thing I'll say is they're reporting on Twitter that the Mets are thinking about going all in for Tarek Skubal. Now, I know some of the comments, not even some, honestly, all of them, and I still have to respond to some more that still come in from that Tarek Skubal YouTube short that I put. The Mets package that I developed and I displayed on our on one of our episodes That is for Tarek Skubal to be signed for 1 year and have an extension right after the trade. If he cannot extend right after the trade, I am sure David Stearns, I know he hasn't had the best winter offseason, and his year was his year of just blatant mistakes, but I don't think he's that dumb. He will lower the package if he can't get Tarek Skubal to agree to an extension immediately after the trade. And if they can't come to an agreement for a lower package for a 1 year rental, the Mets will just move on. They've already moved on with 3 core players on their team. You don't think they're going to move on with the guy who's not even on their team ever, who's never been on their team and may not be? They're going to move on with him too. So everything is just reporting right now until something gets finalized and something actually happens that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'll say it one more time. Absolute last thing about the Mets. This next month is imperative to their success next season and the fan base going into Citi Field and the amount of fans they'll have per game.
I wouldn't even say just for next year. I'd say for the next 5.
Sure.
This is because they can't have another year missing the playoffs, or else then they're really going to go into full rebuild.
Right. It's crunch time now. It's absolute crunch time. All right, Dom.
Yep.
Are you good?
I'm all good. I just have no faith in Yankees front office, and I just hope that we at least re-sign Cody Bellinger. At this point, that's what we need. We need and get maybe 1 or 2 starting pitchers. That's going to be it. That's all that I hope for.
Yeah. For the Mets, I would say get Kyle Tucker. Maybe try to trade for Wilson Contreras in a lower package. Trade for a pitcher somehow, some way, and sign a starter as well so that you could try to fortify the rotation. That's what the Mets need to do. Let's see if they could check off all those boxes. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to today's episode of the FTB podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our shows. See you folks on Tuesday. Peace.